Public speaking online. Coming in, I really wasn't sure what to expect. And to be honest, I definitely wasn't expecting this class to impact my public speaking abilities as much as it has, primarily considering the fact that I was being taught speaking skills through a screen. I'm an outgoing person who has always loved speaking and telling stories, but this class challenged me in a handful of different ways. For instance, I know it's not ideal considering that we're not in person, but one of the biggest challenges for me was the fear of videoing myself and being on camera and looking the camera in the eye, and just the fact that I had to listen to my own voice and be okay with it. For our first real speech, the story with the point speech, I practiced a good amount of times, and before the speech I felt good, and then when it came down to it, I ended up recording myself so many times just to get the right thing. I just felt so underconfident, but that, practice really led me to when we got to the swap speech, I really, looking back, I felt so much better about being on camera, and I didn't have to take near as many takes as I did at the beginning. Um, and I was not so uncomfortable with it. One of my favorite parts about this class was seeing everyone else's speeches and just being able to get feedback and us being positive and also critiquing. One of the things for sure that I really looked at with different people's feedback was the fact that I use my hands all the time, and I still do use my hands, but I do think I have grown a lot, and I really appreciated the feedback and, all the different things that were said to each other with all of that. Because looking back at my swap speech, I was moving the entire time, and it was a complete distraction. And now I do still use my hands because that is how I talk, but I have definitely kept it under control more with me not moving around as much. And I am proud of myself of the different things, such as like coming a long way with how much I prepare for it. Another thing is the creative aspect. I was definitely challenged creatively with what I wanted to say in my speeches. I remember sitting there like, coming up with what I'm going to say in a speech. And I think I came a long way, especially with the swap speech, coming up with my creative idea to use my little cousin in the speech. And of course, I didn't have the product, but just like Professor Kenny said in her videos, with the boy who used the cardboard for the window shield and everything like that. I used, the stuffed animal and everything. And it was funny also, I remember in Professor Kinesa's videos, I did grab something from that, even though we weren't in person. It was only a 1 week, video, but I didn't think that I would learn as much from those videos I did. And I definitely valued that. One of them for sure was the ability to, while you're speaking, if something goes wrong during your speech, you go past that. You power through, you keep going. Something for me that I really saw growth in the end in that ability to keep going was my little cousin, as she was the demonstrator. We did have a few takes, but for the one that I submitted, the speech that I felt the best about, she forgot her prop. She forgot the stuffed animal. And I was like, Olivia, just keep going. Get the prop. She's a little kid, and just keep on going with it. It'll be great. So I am proud of myself in the end, and I'm very grateful for this class. I feel like I learned a lot, and I would never think that an online public speaking course would help me with my public speaking as much as it did.